For the first time, I switched the light switches in my house. I'm not handy at all, but I did it because most people said it's not that difficult. Watched YouTube and everything and tried to do my due diligence. I wanted well, first of all, I switched my old one, which was a motion sensor one. Cost some dollars on eBay. I probably should have just purchased the replacement, but at the time I didn't pull out the light switch, so I didn't know what part I was looking for. But instead, I bought a traditional rocker switch, light switch here on Amazon. It was only cost $2, so I prefer these because I think they last longer. And so, just wanted to mention some things that I learned from doing this. One is I have a circuit breaker box outside my house, and just figuring out which circuit breaker was the correct circuit to turn off was a real pain. It wasn't labeled well, so I had to go up and down the stairs to find, or go outside to find out which one it was. The other thing is going from this motion sensor switch to this rocker paddle switch. The wiring was slightly different, and so that was a bit difficult for me. And finally, I'd made some comments about like how the wiring, because I wasn't sure. Just disregard that part. I don't know, like, other than the, what do you call it, grounding wire. I don't know what the other two wires, what order they're supposed to be, so please disregard what I was talking about. I was probably wrong about it, most likely wrong, so just want to mention that. So this isn't a tutorial video. This is just a video to hopefully give people confidence that they can do it themselves. And if I did stuff that was incorrect, please let me know so that when I do it again the next time, I don't, kill myself. The most important thing, of course, is to, I don't have it on here, but turn off the electric properly through your circuit breaker or maybe fuse box, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Once you turn it off, use a electric tester to make sure the line is not receiving an electric. That's why I did in the video. So over and out. You watch the video, or you don't have to watch the video. It's just I was able to do it, and I think I did it fairly safe. So that's all. Today I'm attempting to replace my light switch that uses a sensor. It doesn't work anymore, and I have my replacement light switch, which is a paddle type. One thing I just wanted to mention is I'm not an electrician, but from what I've read everywhere is don't try doing this replacement without turning off the electricity completely. So go about back to the circuit breaker, turn it off, and then that's not enough because it could be mislabeled, or there might be still some electricity going through. Remember to get a voltage meter, something like this, so you can test to see if each wire has any voltage or current going through it. That's my recommendation, and that's what all of the internet says. Try not to shortcut, please. Make sure electricity is completely off through the circuit breaker, and then use a voltage tester to make sure there's no voltage going through any of the lines on your light switch. I just want to make that short, PSA. I'm sure other electricians have done it. I'm not an electrician. I'm just a scared person reminding you to do something like that. I want to replace this broken light switch with this regular paddle switch. So this is my second time doing it. I have my tools, voltage meter to make sure the lines don't have any current, screwdrivers, pliers, electrical tape, scissors, as well as some rubber gloves. A lot of this is extra over here. This is probably all you need over here. but I had this extra just for safety purposes. And this is my second time doing it. You can tell me what I'm doing wrong. This is not a tutorial. This is just a video showing a beginner trying to do it. One of the most difficult things about doing a light switch replacing is turning off the right breaker switch. I've literally gone through all of this stuff and it still haven't found the right one. So it's a real pain. I'm thinking it might be the bedroom one. I'm gonna try the bedroom. So bed and plugs. I'm trying bedroom. I could try conventional and disposal first. Try those first, but I doubt it'll work. So let's try this. Moment of truth. It actually worked. Okay, I can actually do this. Let's see if I can do it quickly. So I'm going to take out the screws. The electric was cut off, thankfully. It took a while finding it. That's out. Need to unscrew this one. So what's interesting about this is you pull it out. There was no screws holding on the outlet. So one thing I'll suggest is take a camera like this over here and take pictures of the wires and how the wires are set up. That way you remember everything. So that's why I had the camera lying around. Take a picture of all the wires. So one thing I'll mention is, as a beginner, I'm thinking the black wires or any wire could be live. But the one that's a different color, this one over here, which is white on the bottom over here versus the black wires, I'm assuming this one's the ground. And this is one would be comparable on this light switch. So this is the ground over here. And this is for the two blacks. And I'm going to use it like this. Top one's going to go with that one. Bottom one's going to go with that one. I think if I switch it, I haven't tried, but it'll work opposite. So instead of this being on, if I switch it incorrectly, these two wires, if they're placed incorrectly, then this might be off and this might be on. So not a big deal. You might have to just switch it. So let me go take out each wire. Take out each wire. Sorry, this isn't going to be very clear. The very first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to take the voltage meter, turn it on. There's a Klein voltage meter. And on each one of these, bring it on here. If it's hot, it'll blink red. And even though this light isn't working, one shouldn't assume that it's completely off. You should still test it with a voltage meter. That's all. If you're gonna switch a light switch, and you've already turned the electricity off through the circuit breaker, definitely recommend still using a voltage tester to make sure each of the wires isn't on. Some people might test it with the other light switch and, oh, this one doesn't work, so this one must not work. But it's really better to be safe than sorry with electricity, so I'm using this voltage meter, voltage tester, and testing each wire. So this is the ground, I think. It's the white wire. And these are the two regular wires. That's all. Just make sure you do that if you can. And voltage, one of these tools doesn't cost much, a voltage tester, so it's worth, it's worth saving your life, I guess. So I took off one of the wires using the screwdriver, pulled it out. Mine's the kind where you pull it out. So as I mentioned, I had electric tape, and I'm just using the electric tape to cover the connection, so there's no chance of it connecting to anything. So that's all. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to do it for the other wires too. Take off this one, just unscrewing it. Once you unscrew it, you can pull it out. Again, I'm going to put some electrical tape onto there. Probably for the last one, I'm not going to put electrical tape. Just because I'm going to work with it anyways. So you see over there, it's on. I'm going to do the last one. Took it all completely off. Please bear with me as I get my tools ready. On this one, it has a top. It says top on the top left over here. Sorry if you can see top. I'm going to have to do some rearrangement, which is what I wanted to avoid. So I had said this one's going to be on the top, but it's going to be on the top right instead of the left. This is going to be on the bottom. And unfortunately, this wire, the white wire, is going to have to move all the way to the left somehow. It didn't really give me much space. Okay. So using some pliers, I'm going to fit the bottom one onto here. Sorry about it, the view's kind of far away. And I need some space to do this. So I'm going to bend this. I wish I had some wire cutters. That would have made my life a lot easier. I'm going to put this into here like this. Actually, it needs to go like, sorry, this is top. It needs to go in like this into this. Like that. And then you screw it in. Sorry you can't see, but you screw it in. I'm going to do it for the next one.
pull that off. Gotta use the pliers again. I wish I had my wire cutter around so I could make this wire a little longer, or just cut it off and make a clean cut. That's what I saw an electrician or handyman do on YouTube. But it's okay. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to get this on. Again, if you don't put it on right, it can slip out pretty easily. So I got it in finally. I did the, instead of doing this way, I did this way. It's in, I made sure it's tight. And now I just need to get the grounding wire over here. This last one. Into the last screw. Over here. Then I can call it a day. So again, I need these pliers. Put this in. In, snapped in. That's in. Now, put everything back in. It's going like this. The bad thing is there's no screws on the top or bottom. So it's going to lie like that, and I'm going to put on the cover and the screws over it to keep it in place. But let me go down to the breaker and turn back the electricity and see if it works. And again, check again. This side, it's all on. This side is on. I'm ready to go. I'll be back. I'm at the breaker. Turning everything on over here. Make sure I turn everything back on. Closing it up. And going back upstairs. Okay. Hopefully, I'm going to test the left one first. That's the light I didn't touch, and it's working fine still. That's a good thing. And actually, I left it on. I should have had it on off. You can see the light up here is, what do you call it? Off right now. Turn it on. It's on. Voila! So I just need to put this back on, and I'm good to go, I think. Again, these two black wires, if I had switched the order, it would have been, instead of this being on, it would have been off. And the down position would have been on. So when you switch the wires, if it's the right wires, I'm tired because we're walking upstairs. If you switch the wires, it may switch how it turns on and off. So it might be the opposite. So anyways, I'm going to put this back together and call it a day. There's the second light switch I've ever switched. I'm disappointed that they didn't have actual screws in here. But it is what it is. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me put this back in. And then out. Turn that off. I don't know what I'm talking about with the whole screw thingy. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. This is not a tutorial. This is just a video to show that normal people like you and me can switch it as long as we try to be as safe as possible. And if you're still watching this video, I'm very surprised. Again, safety first. If I miss something, let me know. I should have screwed this before I turned the switch. Then I put this on top. Like this. Don't screw it too hard. And now I can screw the other screws. Put everything in, screw everything. Looks good. This light switch works, and the one that I replaced is working. Not too bad for a second time replacer.